Discover cowrie shell divination, ancient wisdom at your fingertips. You set the shells, I decode your answers, love, career, and more. We've got the guidance you seek. Tap into shamanic roots, uncover your inner energy, chase your dreams, learn from the wisdom of tribal mystics, bridging the gap to your potential. Supercharge your experience with us. Book now at tanyad.tv for self-discovery, and I will see you on the other side. Ashe. Inshallah and Ashe. Divine wills, blessings to you and for you as always. It's a Mystic Message Monday. And if you have yet to watch my snippet this week, I did bring in the Fae. The messages really go along with all things, I will say. However, today, or at least here, I really want to share insight into understanding how to make your life reflect genuinely like a divine reflection of the star that you are. So I'm kind of here to teach you how to make every single moment of your life magical. Every mundane moment. So I really want to teach you how to really make it not just better, but better than better, gooder than gooder. And the way that you are receiving down to the messages, say in the clouds, it's really inspiring to me even just to take this even further. So I really want to give you some magical moments, some secret sauce, some fundamental secrets of understanding how to really make your life beautiful, a magical, beautiful place all of the time. So I just want to say that I really appreciate you for tuning in and watching. And also, I just want to say sometimes these steps may feel a little awkward, these concepts, these ideas to really understand. And I do know I do speak another language, but to translate from concept to human English, when you do receive and you do understand. So those of us that are here to teach, we teach because of your willingness to be open and also to learn, to have a different perspective. So when I reflect and see people understanding the concepts, genuinely it triggers so many channels, not just inside myself, but as a reflector, it triggers people outside of me to really discuss and navigate into these topics further. So I really appreciate your sharing your comments as well, asking questions. So, which is like, oh my goddess, they get it. They truly understand it. And I really want to keep going. So we're going to keep going with it. So today we're going to really learn about learning lessons, channeling information from objects that exist on our planets that cannot speak. Actually, they do speak. However, they speak a different language. In the same way that you can actually channel information from angels, deities, gods, where you can channel information from cats, dogs, trees, rivers, stones, stars, wind, air, clouds, all the things. So you can really channel information from anything and everything, from literally everything that breathes, exists in any conscious level on this planet. And we really don't really talk about this enough because that is half, if not more, of the work with our connection, our divine connection. We're spending so much time trying to get in touch with being at a higher level of being. But if you're not grounding this channeled energy, channeling in the grounding, it's just as much about being a spiritual being as it is about being a human being. It's about collaborating or merging these two things, about understanding the spiritual conscious energy that exists in the human world, in reality, and also relating to that. So have you ever gotten into a point in your life, I'm sure you have, right, where an animal started really showing up around you or within your conscious energy field or anything like that? I will say for me, the first time, I'm going to say it started with a fox. I was 8 years old. Again, I was blessed to have a horse. I was able to ride into the mountains of my own backyard, and really having telepathic conversations with a fox, for example. That was just one of the things. Amongst seeing messages in the cloud lines, I love being outside in nature. I sleep outside from the moment I can in the spring, and we're into the fall, so I'm really holding space for that to really nurture my soul. Currently, right now, crickets sing me to sleep. Their song, their sound, it really raises. I would also say it cleanses our energetic fields, the auric body, the fields of the body as well. So they start to jump out in front of us, just jumping out directly in front of us, like stop right in front of us, just looking at us, the otherworldly beings, right? Hopefully from that point forward for like the next 3 weeks or so, lately, besides crickets, snakes for me, they're crossing my path, spiders, right? So you then start looking into what's the spiritual significance of the snail, the snake, whatever it is, the mysticism and the magic. Then you may become like, holy shift, this is so on par. Once you understand the connection of like why they are there, it may become some uncanny otherworldly wisdom of almost like how actually supported we all are and they are by the world of nature, genuinely driving down the road trying to process something, how it's all related to what we are actually going through in the moment, the oment. So you may suddenly see in your awareness these beings for a few months until, of course, we get the memo. We got the memo. We got the live stream. And that's when we can be in these spaces where we never see the symbols. And then they show up all the time in our conscious field, in our awarenesses. So it's like they are there to really assist us to keep on traveling and moving through. So this has happened to me with so many animals, nature beings, seen and unseen, I will say, etc. So those were just some of the earlier ones. There's many more. I've had a lot of animals that have come to me that I've surrounded myself with. Some of them have actually never left. I have snakes. I recently had a spider, a cat spider, and I literally watched a bee hit it, the spider, watched the entire process of that bee become wrapped up, I guess, for dinner, is what I'm sensing. It was dinner. Ants, transformative beings, transformation, but also fur babies, as you may or may not know. Sir Didymus is in the heavenly realm in his palace, being the prince, the Wedame, the wild, fierce protector that he has always been. You're going to find some of them are consistent life lessons, while others come to closure with. We get the memo, and they're always there in our consciousness, in our conscious streams, in our fields of awareness. So the lessons that they are meant to teach us, you may find some are more consistent than others. Dragonflies, butterflies, it's just in your awareness. So options, feeding the fae, birds chirping, hummingbirds. They become drawn to us, represented all over the place. Shells, divinations, books, plants. There's so much, right? So I think that it's important to really understand that when you're trying to connect with these things in the same way that the universe, it does not speak in English, like in the English language, which they actually speak in a concept. So these things do not speak in language. They speak in, I would even say, an idea, a concept. So if you're like expecting a one-on-one conversation with a snake, you're kind of being misguided here, right? This is more about understanding the medicine, the gift, the purpose. It's more about having the necessary answers to your questions. So a lot of it's going to depend a lot about how you receive information, receivership, information for your own sacred garden, right? Your own psychic abilities, clairtalents, gifts, purpose, and more. So I'm very shamanically gifted. I'm claircognizant, visions. So things like beings generally come in for me in the form often of thought, but also a vision, imagination. So sometimes it's visual. I can see them. It could be a concept, a pattern of energy, synchronicities. So I have to work my way through it. It's like weaving the threads and surrounding yourself, grounding yourself with these things, and also focusing on them, grounding into an elemental being, and allowing them or their awareness to really teach you or me, right? Either way. Meditating is one of them. Spending time with them is how they open these channels of energy to communicate. It's like giving them a cell phone, being a divine operator, if you will, subscribing to their channel. So what does that even mean? So if they don't communicate in language, how do they communicate? Through symbolism. Symbolism, patterns, those are huge ones, I would say. Butterflies send messages, right? And butterflies, for example, whenever I'm in a aligned space, maybe a place where you are in deep alignment or maybe taking a leap of faith, and it pays it forward for you. So we always have, I would say, a totem animal that comes to us with messages that shows us that we are in divine alignment. So you may be surrounded by beings, in this case, I said butterflies, and I would say it's like energetic, it's synchronicity. They become wetames, a personal wetame, a protector of the wild, your authenticity, transformation, and change. So you may see or may channel memories, memoirs of places, times that you've already lived and came from, previous versions of yourself, and how different you were, how strong you were being, how well you may feel, even in the form of chaos, and have reflections, time, space, dimension, of how much you have authentically grown. And those things, they just start to begin to come to your mind. And as you start connecting to them, you begin to have these deep patterns of recognition, connecting little dots and patterns, things like that. These things speak to you in a way that's very unique and individual to your entire energetic being as a person. We all have that. Unique and individual is our thumbprint. But allowing that open channel of communication to just come in, allowing that awareness to come into your life, that you were paying attention, that you were looking for messages, signals, but you are actually open to receiving the knowledge, the wisdom, the information from all these things is vitally important. So I recommend to people all of the time, when these animals, clouds, angel numbers, whatever it is, these signs come in, taking your awareness when they come in, you need to be open. You need to be learning from it. You need to just hold the knowledge, meditate, be in sacred space. And oftentimes meditation confuses people. It's like, what is that? They can't do it. And we're meditating all the time. You can sit down, close your eyes, focus on that form. But if that's not easy for you, I would say get an adult color book, automatic coloring. Like I used to literally, and honestly, I still do, daisies. I'm always drawing circles. Get an animal coloring book, clouds. If you're seeing beings or messages in clouds or numbers, whatever's gaining attention, get something to paint, to draw, to stencil, whatever it is. You picking up, are you picking up what I'm saying? It's you just picking up on that frequency. Meditation doesn't have to be an eyes closed, focused, forced kind of thing. It's simply bringing your attention, your awareness, your focus to a specific thing so you can unlock the information that actually exists there. So I would say the vast majority of us are very comfortable and also aware of the fact that if you bring a statue, a deity into your home, you build it an altar, you give it space, you give it a place to exist, you've invited it into your space. So that deity, that energy, for me, it's the Fae most often, it's going to come in, it's going to offer you lessons, you magic. It's also going to teach you, right? So it's the exact same way with all the things, whether it's ancestors, animals, pictures, it's identifying snakes. Snakes, in my case lately, snakes transform. They shed skin. Ants, crickets, right? Hidden messages in nature. So just be aware. But when you offer those things space to exist in your home, in your space, in your energy, they too now have the space to teach you from there. They're now in your energy and your field, and they can offer you the information that they have to give you as a human on this planet that is connected to them. And the lessons, the memo, getting the memo can be big, huge, life transforming, life lessons, life altering. And the lessons can also be small ones. Whatever terrifies you probably has a message for you. Killing spiders. How many of you save spiders? Save the snails. etc. So why would you really wish harm on something that's smaller than you and giving your power away too? Ants, why do you feel the need to use power over something so small like that? Like, why do you choose life or death over something that can't even understand what's going on? You know, they're just doing their magic, their medicine, but they always have messages. I have a ton of ants right now, and I do feed them. Maybe that's why. So it's like not trying to really hurt you. So it's these profound lessons, the magic there. It's the secret sauce that can come in very small ways, but can change you as a person when you open yourself up to really access and have a different perspective and understanding. So the life lessons that each of these beings have to teach us and connect with us. So as you become comfortable with the things in life that once made you uncomfortable, and you begin to see them, admiring their magic, their beauty, your life then becomes weaving and threading the magic that resides within. It's a very magical space where you now have the opportunity to look at each individual thing, and sometimes numbers you come in contact with, right? So imagine having the worst day ever, genuinely the worst day ever, and you just don't know what to do, what to think, or what to do. And you just look up into the clouds. And as you do so, you're blessed with profound innate wisdom because you do have enough awareness to be like, the comforts of the cloud line. The skyline can grant us access to see the lesson there, where we can learn something from it. And our life becomes such a beautiful, mystical, magical place for both opportunities and also for growth. So if you're a person who's not into the woo-woo, the mystical, magical of things, and you're like literally delusional, and maybe you're thinking I'm just making this shift up, messages from angels, animals, clouds, the unseen world, that's perfectly magical with me, because like every time that I'm having a bad day and a being will show up, whether it's a butterfly, a bird, a snake, a squirrel. So it's like I have a friend to really hang out with. And oftentimes I find friends of the outer world, the other world, the galaxy, having a guardian that we all can draw near and dear to us. So imagine being that being. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you're being the essence of that being. And if I'm gaining wisdom, knowledge, or life wisdom that is helpful for me, my brain, I'm just taking it all in, taking it away, and noticing the magic and how beautiful life can be for an individual creature. And the thing is, we all have the ability to accept and understand on this planet free will. Like, I am fine with being at this level of woo-woo, a little bit crazy, being a spirit mama. I'm totally fine with it. It really doesn't bother me 1 cent. So when you learn to live in a way where when you see a spider in the same way that you see an elephant, a giraffe, a cat, you also start seeing a beggar like you would a king. There's a lot of magic and medicine there, an astronaut, a waitress, whatever it is, because you begin to be in your authenticity, understanding that they each have each of those individual things. They each have a complete value on their each individual scale. And that is what each of those things have the opportunity to really teach us. So with that, thanks for tuning in and commenting on this Mystic Message Monday. And as always, I'll see you on the other side. I have Jim Marshall this Friday in the Rising of the Origins for the scales, by the way. So be sure to tune in. It's been enlivening, I will say, but it's all about perspective, right? So ashe as always, and I will see you on the other side. And I just have a cute snippet from my podcast episode this week, Christy Whitman. Great interview. Be sure to check her out. I do have her on YouTube, but you're probably on my website anyway, so just check out the podcast there. Ashe.
Kids. But she has a partner that she's been with, have house together, all that for 35 years and doesn't have children. She has her career. And, for her, knowing that she has comfort and that she is in a place of feeling settled. That's her all, knowing that she has the money to do whatever she wants and the freedom to do it. That's her having it all. And like you said, it's like that white picket fence, 2.5 kids. I don't know how you have 2.5 kids. I don't know, maybe that's the dog or the cat or something, but not everybody wants the same thing. And we all shift too, in our 20s, our having it all is different from in our 30s or our 40s, or now even in my 50s. It's different, and we get to evolve with it. But focusing on what do we really want, what really lights us up, what really fills our heart.